Yo, guys, welcome back to my 5 metas every pro should know series. For this one, episode 9, we're handling Oceania. I know I did an Australia meta for when I did Asia, but just didn't feel right in that time. So I decided, why not give Australia and New Zealand some love? Because we might as well. Now, my Australian friend, Sponge CGS, did do a disclaimer, and he kind of said that, most Australian things are not absolutes, but they are just kind of used to rule out places or sometimes get metas for a particular area, but it's not always 100%. But these ones should more or less be 100%. So I picked ones in which like you can use. Just a little disclaimer though. Listen, we'll go into the disclaimers when we hit them. All right, we'll start off with the Barkley Highway Bar. All right, this one's in the Plunkett Guide, of course, which is quite helpful. And on this highway, on the 66, going from that city to this city, you can see the Barkley Highway Bar, and it is sticking out of the back left side of the car, I guess, making like a triangle shape. And you can see it at various points throughout this journey. Some places it's more visible than others, like this one, I don't know what's going on there. Like, I think the blur is just a little wider on the edge, and that's why you can only kind of see it. But like in some places, it is more visible than others. Like this one, the blur is a little bit wider, I think, so you can't really see it. Now this one here, it's somewhat visible. But yeah, very hard to see. This one is a bit more pronounced. And yeah, as you get down here, it's a little bit harder to see once again. And yeah, it's just sticking out again. So I don't know. I think the blur is what's causing it to vary in terms of visibility. But there are points as to which you can't really see it. And that are these two areas here, where it's like completely not visible, I would say. Which is interesting. I don't know why it's in the middle here. Oh, sorry, that's not it. There's one here. Yeah, it's like barely visible. Like you can kind of see it, but like if you're just doing a quick scan and you're looking at the car and stuff, like you're probably not going to see this on the first pan. But yeah, I mean it varies in terms of visibility, especially on this middle stretch here. But it should be visible on this area and then this area here. So anything to the west of this road, really, I think, and then anything to the east of where this marker is, like Rankin and on, you should be able to see it as well. So definitely varies in terms of visibility. But if you see a road going like east-west and then, this angle here, northwest, southeast, you should definitely check for this bar when it kind of looks like this, because then you can get the exact road and get a absolutely great guess. All right, we are now taking it to New Zealand for our next meta. So, the exposed white and blue front of the car. All right, guys, this one is quite an interesting one because you will see this one in a lot of places on the North Island, very common on the North Island, and only a handful of places in the South Island. So I've highlighted those like 3 main pockets on the South Island here, outside of Christchurch. This area kind of going up the one, like it varies, I think, in terms of visibility, and then this area near Blenheim. So this one I would say is not as useful anymore, just because the exposed front car was taken during like I would say July to like November of 2021. And most of that coverage has been overwritten by like coverage that they've drawn in 22, 23, and 24. So there's a lot of overwritten coverage in terms of the exposed white and blue front car. But this one had like a bit more coverage as to where it went. Like it's going down like crazy random like roads like here. And by white and blue front car, you guys see what I mean. Like it's striped here, like this blue, and then you got white on both sides on the front, and you can see very clearly the front of the car. But yeah, if I were to click on like a random road here, like this used to be covered with white and blue car, now it's just April 2023 blue. So like you get that and a lot of white car as well. But yeah, You can get them in random panos, like here, this car, and you can see like it just went down this little side road for some reason, which is like a dead end, I guess, and they realized they had to turn around, so they just did a little loop, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, if you look like right down the street here, you'll see that it's like a blue or like dark blue car. So yeah, most of it has gotten overwritten, but that doesn't stop us from using a little bit of meta every once in a while. So you can see it in Auckland, very rare now with the new overwritten coverage because they drive Auckland a lot. There are a few places in Hamilton as well, like here on this little like dead end road. Clearly only going to be covered by this car because they didn't want to drive down this road in the new coverage. But if you go to this, I do believe you will see a light blue white car here, and that's November 2022. So they overdid all of the exposed except for this road, apparently. So there are a couple places that you can still get it. It is a bit rarer though. Taronga as well, exposed, and this is like a little dead end as well. Once again, so like a lot of the dead ends are still there. But yeah, all right. And then this area near Egmont National Park, a lot of these roads, like these, are gonna still have the exposed front because they didn't drive down this way. Like if I click on this one as well, should be there. Yep, it is. And yeah, a lot of these roads, but like this 45 now, completely covered by new car, November 2022. So yeah, it's very niche, but it does work because if you know where the pockets are, you can make a very good guess. Like if you know you're on this like southwest northeast angle, and like, can you see Egmont from here? Can't really see it, eh? Usually visible. Oh no, it's right here. What am I doing? Yeah, you can kind of see it peeking out above the clouds, and you know you're on one of these roads, right? But yeah, there's some coverage pockets here. For some reason, like this part of the 3 here still has this car, but if you move down the 3, you'll see it's overwritten by November 2022. But this area, for some reason, still, like I'm clicking on any pano, like in this area, still has that exposed front. So I don't know. Maybe they got bad coverage on this area with the new car, so they just kept the old car coverage. And then this road as well has the exposed front because I guess they didn't want to drive down this way with the new car because this is quite a far drive. But yeah. All right. And then the South Island stuff, Blenheim, only a couple roads, to be fair. Like this main road, I don't know why this one still has the exposed car front. And then this like dead end road. But yeah, I would encourage you guys to go like download the New Zealand like coverages JSON and filter for 2021. And then you can kind of overlay it with the new coverage and see exactly where those pockets are like still open, like where they're not overlapping. And you would see that like there's only a few pockets of coverage. This one here, yeah, pretty clear. There's also some in this area here in Pegasus. Like I think the entire city of Pegasus is still gonna have this car, because I guess they didn't cover this. Let me just make sure. Like let's click over here. Yeah, still has this car. So like Pegasus still has this car, and all the way to Pegasus Beach. But yeah, there are some pockets in which it does work, and like this entire Birch Hill Road here, still gonna have this car, and that's the most updated pano. This road as well. But yeah, I would encourage you guys to go download the map for yourself. I will leave this JSON, of course, as I do with all the JSONs in the description, but definitely download the New Zealand coverage map if you're interested in this one, finding some New Zealand metas and overlaying with the 2021 coverage exposed front with like the other cars. But yeah, it's a great meta for region guessing because you won't really get that car down here. So never guess down here if you see the exposed front. All right, we are back to Australia for this meta. This is going to be the Southeast Queensland black paint. Now, this paint is found from everywhere from the Gold Coast all the way up to like, I would say Sunshine Coast is probably where it ends. I tried looking around Gympie, I couldn't really find stuff, but Sunshine Coast, you can see this black paint pretty much everywhere. If you look at it, really, they're different variations, but black paint with the numbers, with the white numbers, pretty consistent throughout most of Brisbane. Um, and yeah, Sponge helped me find this one. I mean, it's in the Plunkett guide as well, but the Plunkett guide does say that these black markings are specific to electricity poles in Queensland, and they just highlight all of Queensland. I don't think that's the case, and like Sponge agrees that it's not the case really, because if you look at this, like you'll pretty much only really see this in the southeastern part of Queensland, to my knowledge at least, and like to Sponge's knowledge, who like plays Australia pretty much all the time. So like he's very familiar with Australia, like he knows the Australian metas, and he said like they're pretty much found in like Brisbane proper, like up to Sunshine Coast and then down to Gold Coast and stuff. So like you can see it in Gold Coast as well, and even out here near Toowoomba. Um, but if you go into Toowoomba proper, like they use these things. These are pretty much what you find, according to Sponge, in like pretty much the rest of Queensland. These like silver number plates. So yeah, I mean the blue sticker is going to be everywhere, but I don't know about the black paint. If you guys find a location, like please DM me or something, because I would love to see like if you find a black paint location in like Cairns or Mackay or Rockhampton, like let me know, because I am quite curious with that. Still developing, but yeah, I don't say I want to disprove the Plunkett meta, but like it does seem like way more consistently on polls in this southeast area. So a little disclaimer there, but yeah, just to know. All right, next one. Very simple meta. Marlborough long possum guards. Yeah, this one's pretty free because Marlborough. Am I pronouncing that right? By the way, Marlborough. Yeah. Like the Marlborough Man. Anyway, yeah, you will get wineries pretty much everywhere in this region. It's, I think, probably the most consistent wine region in which you'll just get wineries everywhere in this valley. I guess the soil's really good or whatever. But yeah, just wineries everywhere. But what we're looking at is this long possum guard in accompaniment with the short possum guard. So you will get the long possum guard on a lot of these poles in the Marlborough Valley. Here, here. But everyone, as you see, is next to a winery. So if you see the combination of the two, man, like I guess this one is the only one in which you can't see a specific winery, like in the NMPZ pan. But yeah, I mean, these are like, yeah. Anyway, you see these long possum guards, but like all the other ones that I was able to find, right next to a winery. This one, white, right next to a winery, and it is off season because like this was taken in like July, August, which is their winter, in the southern hemisphere. So like they're not gonna be growing grapes at that time, but yeah, you guys can pretty much see it anywhere here. And yeah, that's a pretty simple one and a really quick one. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you guys see that, you know, always guess this Marlborough Valley. All right, the last thing I'm going to be covering is Victoria fire hydrants. So I'm going to go through two different fire hydrants. One is found in Victoria State, like all of Victoria State. The other one is found pretty much only in Melbourne and like surrounding suburbs. So we'll go through the one that can be found in all of Victoria State, and that's this one. It's going to have this red top with the like blue circle on it, and it's usually indicated by like a blue reflector and like an arrow usually. I think some of the other ones will have arrows, but yeah, interesting. Like fire hydrants, different from the ones that we get in the States, really, because ours are like labeled yellow, like they're kind of thick. Well, I wouldn't like thick compared to these, I guess, but yeah, these are Victoria fire hydrants, and you'll see this all over Victoria, really. No arrow on this one either. Well, there is actually. I think that's an arrow, but yeah, Victoria fire hydrants, and we'll just go through all of them. Yeah, same one. But yeah, I'm just clicking on big cities. Like you can find this in every big city. You see one of these, you know you're in Victoria. This one's clearly labeled. Like we have the blue reflector bump and the road marker rather, and then the arrow indicating that, you know, there is a fire hydrant there and you can't park there. obviously. Same one here. I guess as you get closer to Melbourne, you get more arrows and stuff for safety reasons. I mean, this one's kind of hiding behind like a lamp, so don't know if that one's gonna really be marked. But yeah, another one here, and yeah, I mean, pretty simple one once again. But if you see one of these like red topped with the blue sticker, better view of the blue sticker was in Wodonga, but yeah, you can kind of get it there. You are in Victoria for sure, so you should get Victoria. All right, and then we will move on to the Melbourne specific ones. Now these are different. So they kind of have like a, I don't know how to describe this one really. Like thick shape at the bottom with a red lid like this. You see what I mean? It's like a tower in some ways. Like, I don't want to say Eye of Sauron, but like, I don't know. You get what I mean. Um, Same ones around here, here, and here. Oh, hello. There we go. All clearly labeled by arrows once again, so you know it's a fire hydrant. But yeah, all of these. And then out here in Melton, I was able to find one. I looked around Geelong, but I couldn't find any in Geelong. So, yeah, I mean, Melbourne proper is where you're pretty much going to find these. And yeah, pretty simple one once again. And I'll quickly show this one, and then I'll go back to the V1. And yeah, you guys can identify both of those. So this one is found everywhere throughout Victoria, whereas these are found pretty much only in Melbourne proper and the surrounding suburbs. So yeah, pretty useful meta, I would say, for guessing Victoria. And yeah, shout out to the Oceania brothers out there. I appreciate Sponge for helping me out with the Australia metas. He selected 3 good ones for me: the Barclay Highway Bar, the Southeast Queensland Paint, and then the Victoria Fire Hydrants. So shouts out to him. I'll leave his YouTube in the description down below if you guys want to see some Australia streaks. Should be on his channel. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed another meta video. We'll be back next week, episode 10. I think non-region specific. Still haven't decided yet, really. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.